He was first sent in for an MRI for his pituitary gland, and then they got a hold of us later that day and they were like, can you come back in quick? You know, we kind of found something that shouldn't really be there. They found a mass near the pituitary gland, you know, back in the back of his head.
Initially they had told us that it was benign, that the mass was benign, but then we got called into the radiation oncologist and they explained how, like, on the full biopsy, it came back as a grade 3 anaplastic ependymoma. So they were like, this is gonna require radiation and chemotherapy. We actually were able to get a spot at UPenn at their proton lab.
We were in Philadelphia for about a month and a half.
He had 33 treatments. So he would go in and they would lay him on the table and they would put his mask on and they clip him to the table so he can't move. They came out after the first day and they said he was fantastic. He had a follow-up in the clinic that day with his doctor from CHOP, and he told him, Oliver, you were still as a statue. He said, you do better than my grown-ups. Day 2, he walked in and they came to get him at the waiting area and he wanted to race them down the hallway. So they made a little starting line and they did a little stretching and off they went.
The whole experience was just a lot to take in, not just having to care for Oliver, but then having to continue life in general, and that includes paying bills, and with the financial burden, things were starting to get a little bit tight. So luckily, ThinkBIG was able to assist in that, in covering our mortgage payments.
They were able to help us with our financial burden, and I know that they do a lot for other families that find themselves in the same boat that we unfortunately were in.
Of all the terrible things in this world, I think childhood cancer is one of the worst things, and any organization that helps to alleviate any kind of stress or burden on the parents is God sent. So I appreciate everything that ThinkBIG did for us. Oliver is just as energetic and bubbly as he was before we found out. And he's just
Rockstar.
Tough guy, big guy.
So tough. I think that anyone who has the chance should support ThinkBIG and help in any way, whether it's sharing an event on Facebook or making a donation or volunteering. It's an organization that has grown in huge ways, which just shows how much people really care, and they really just want to help people.